All right, welcome, everyone. Grows Not Shows episode, fuck knows what, season 46, episode 22. We are here with a special guest, guys. This is actually a special episode. We got the one and only Tom. Welcome. Obviously, we got Jack as well, but no one really cares about him.
Voice it.
Jack,
Right.
you're special, mate. Trust me, you're special.
I
Hello.
remember-
Yeah, they used to say that about me in school, mate.
Funnily enough, before we crack into this, me and Jack went to the same school. I'm sure we said this story before, but Jack was in the year above me, and I wasn't particularly like one of the cool kids, but I wasn't Jack. Jack was in that group of like everyone looked at him, and he like the most stereotypical kid that would be like Naruto running in the corridors at school. Like that was Jack for sure. So
Yeah, I was one of the untouchables.
yeah. But anyways, Tom, how's your week been?
Mate, so far it's been busy. It's been good as always, mate. Honestly, been traveling here, there, and everywhere. I've got clients who are around sort of circa 6-10 weeks out, so I try and see them a little bit more frequently. And that's where I've been quite literally. Saturday I was at TPC in Loughborough. Then Monday I was in Meritor. And then yesterday I was in Birmingham, and now today was the first session of the week where I could do it at my own gym, which is nice. I want to say thank you for having me on as well, boys. I appreciate it. So it's good.
Mate,
Thank
you're all
No,
good.
we were excited to bring you on, mate.
Yeah, I
100%.
made a list of people I want to bring on. You were at the top of the list. I was like,
Mm.
bang. Tom Taylor, easy peasy.
I
Easy
appreciate it, mate. I appreciate it. What you see is what you get. So honestly, it's gonna be good.
Exactly that. So with traveling around, is that literally just to go and see clients and kind of where they're about, or is that meetups? What's been going on that's had you bouncing around so much? Is it in-person check-ins?
Well, mate, like anyone, mate. Like when you have a client who's in a diet phase, their routine, like you've been in a diet phase before, mate, where everything is just so structured. When you take someone out of that routine, it just creates stress. Their meal timing's on the go, and they're training in a different gym, and they don't. And then you get the questions of like, should I do? And I'm like, you know what? Let's just cut that. I can come to you, and then you can train at the same time. But the only sort of difference there is that I have to change my schedule in terms of wake up time. Like Meritor's 2 hours from me, so get up a little bit earlier, do check-ins a little bit earlier, and then go up there. So it's just traveling up, seeing them, keeping them in a good routine, and that's the main goal really. Because it's just understanding that my goals may have to be put on hold for that given day. I still make my meals, still do everything there, and I still get up and do cardio steps and all that, but I'm the one usually traveling to them, which I'll always offer. And I know, Jack, you'd be the exact same as well, mate. So you understand completely.
Yeah, this summer's looking a bit mental. It's like every single weekend, but I'm still having to book stuff in, so it's like my weeks and my weekends are just.
What a feeling, though, man! Like what a feeling! Like it's so good. Isn't it? When it's just like your whole week just looks absolutely stacked, and you don't mind it. That's what I love. And traveling, seeing different clients, seeing where they're at, and then you fitting in your session, and then at the end of the week you're thinking, how have I done that? And then you get to do it all over again. So it's good.
This is a question I have to the both of you actually, because I think you're both in a similar position in this sense. But like, how would you say managing your own physique development as an athlete is compared to someone who doesn't have many clients to someone who does?
You want to go first, mate?
I'll go first. It's understanding that if you wanted to get it done, you would do, in terms of waking up early, getting your own cardio done. I feel like a lot of coaches, they sometimes use the excuse of travel to not get their work done. And then next thing you know, in a couple of months' time, they feel burnt out. And it's just down to the fact of they're not prioritizing them. I'm a massive advocate of, to put more care into other people, you have to put care into yourself. So that's not being arrogant. That's not being selfish. In a sense, it sort of is, because you're making sure you're putting yourself first, but you're doing that while prioritizing and caring for other people at the same time. So I had to be in the car by 10:30. Usually I'm still working. So what I do is I get up earlier, I do my cardio, and then I can be at the desk for 6, and then I can get all my check-ins done prior to 10, and then I travel. But I take my meals with me. And alongside that, when you do travel, you understand that your goals are evidently going to be second. I get more fulfillment out of putting people on stage and taking people through that process. And when you're traveling and eating your pre-workout meal, then you're driving 45 minutes. It's not the best because it's not going to be digestible, whatever, right? But you just make it work. You just do. You make your meals, you get it done. And you just got to understand and be real where your goal as a coach is to put other people on stage. Your goal might not be able to go at 100% for that given few months, whatever. So just understanding that really, but making sure you still get it done and prioritize yourself, because it allows you to put more care or the same level of care to others.
Yeah. I'd say knowing how to pick your battles. So if, for example, you're insistent that a meal that you would usually take on the road is going to be like tuna or eggs or cream of rice or something that isn't very prep friendly, as much as the bodybuilder in you will want to be like, I need to keep this the same. I have this, I always have it at 2 p.m. I always have my eggs. I'm not having cold eggs. I'm not meal prepping. Like, either you need to pick the battle of either having your eggs and having them cold or having something else. You might need to pick the battle of, like you said there, waking up early and trying to go to bed a bit earlier, or potentially being like, okay, I'm going to cut a little bit of sleep, but that's going to enable me to get in my work and get in my meal and get in whatever else I need. Sometimes there's going to be times of, okay, well, I can't get in all 5 meals, so I'll mock up a new plan and do 4. It's, again, just picking your priorities of, okay, so I can't do exactly what I would robotically, but the food is just a means of getting certain macros into my body. So what if I still hit those macros? The training is just a means of doing X many sets per week. So what if I modify my training? Like, Tom, I saw that you made a post where you're like, I've modified my split a little bit because I'm traveling.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's
case. Yeah, I see coaches, particularly very young coaches, trying to like sync up with their clients. They'll be like, oh, but he's doing pull and I'm doing legs, so we're just going to train at the gym but not do the same thing. And it's like, just modify your split. Like, if either like you both need to compromise, or you as the coach need to just do what they're doing and modify your split. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to get on stage and have people go, oh yeah, man, we can really see that you chose to train pull instead of legs, or, you know, you missed a meal and instead you macro swapped it. People aren't going to notice, but you need to not completely throw everything by the wayside, but also not just, you know, if you insist on doing everything and being entirely selfish, you are going to be a bad coach.
It's being organized.
Yeah.
It sounds so simple and so mundane, but it's so true. At the start of the week, who are you seeing? How long does it take to go see them?
Yep.
I look at little places where I can stop off and go and have my pre-workout meal, whatever. Okay, fantastic. I can stop off at, I think it was like a little Aldi the other day. Fantastic. Stopped off there, had went. They train push. I don't train push. I train upper lower. So what I did was did all my push volume, and then next thing you know, I just did a little bit extra pull in my next upper session. That's all it was. So again, it's not the fact of you need to be in a position where Jack said you have to do legs because that's legs. It's just being organized so you can get your stuff done over the course of the week to make it better for the client. That's how I think about things anyway, making them less stressed so they can get a better week or a better day or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about what I need to do because I know I can change my week and get in that organized. But also as well, it's nice from a client's perspective where it's like, even though I've got lower, actually I can train push because I've changed my week, and they're like, oh, that's quite nice actually. Yeah, like he's going out of his way to modify what he's doing to make sure that I'm staying on plan and making sure that we're doing what we need to do. And at the back end of prep, I wouldn't expect someone to change what they're doing 3-4 weeks out.
Yeah.
I would expect someone to like, oh, if you're going to come see me as a coach, can we just do the same session?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
100%.
I think that point you made of organization is bang on. Sorry, Camille, I'll say this and I'll let you.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Oh, mate. But just like the example you gave there, I think, you know, it's one of it's definitely advice that I give people a lot. I see a lot is like, even just what you said of like, okay, I need to be on the road at 10:30. Normally I'm working, so what do I need to do? even just that thought process, so many people lack.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they just go like, oh, I guess I'll just get up earlier. How much earlier? I don't know. I'll get up earlier, do work, and then I guess I'll leave when I'm done. It's like, no, you need to be more on it than that.
But it's true, mate. And then it even goes down to the finer details of like, okay, for example, today I had to go to the gym a little bit earlier because I'm still usually at the gym at this time. So I know that Jake checks in at like 7:30, Charlie checks in at 8 o'clock. They're on prep. They need to get back early. They need to get back to then. So I need to be home. So then I'm thinking I need to be at the gym for 5:30, do my cardio till 6, walk 6 till 7, and then back at home.
Yep.
But that's usually 7 till 8. But then Jake would have already checked. So it's these things where even you guys will know as coaches, you'll know when certain people check in, they're on prep, they're the priority. They need to get a response back as soon as possible. I can't be out on a walk getting back to their feedback. I need to be at the desk making sure everything's all good. So my routine is based around them. And if you can work that in alongside obviously travel, etc., training, then, but that's like you said, it's just it's super important to have that thought process and be organized and have that routine. And like I said, it comes down to if you want to do it, you will do, and understanding that sometimes you may have to be second, but ultimately making sure that you take care of yourself to allow you to take care of others. Before getting to check-ins, I made sure I got my cardio, my steps done. It's not to the fact of showing people that I was, oh yeah, look at me. It's the fact of I need that for me. That's my time, cardio and steps. Because if I didn't do that and I was doing my cardio post-workout and steps later on in the day, that would stress me out. I've learned that. So I get it done earlier.
Yeah.
So it's going through that experience and understanding how you operate and what you do. So that's what I would say there. Organization's key.
I really resonated with what you said there about the sometimes having to be selfish and put yourself first, because this is something I experienced after I finished uni and I was still doing the coaching, but I then work into clinical practice. Is like sometimes I would be in clinic, see a bunch of patients and come home and like reply to clients or do check-ins or whatever. But what I quickly realized is because both of the jobs I have are very emotionally demanding, especially clinic, you know, people coming in with injuries potentially lasting months or years and who have been in significant pain, that takes its toll. So then if I don't, one, monitor that, but two, actually look after my emotional state, that then impacts my ability to sort of help my clients, especially the online ones. So I kind of made a rule to myself, like if I'm going to go into clinic, I either do my check-ins before I go or I just do my check-ins on a separate day. And I try and keep those two things as defined as possible. But 100%, man, I think sometimes you have to learn how to actually give time to yourself. And again, this is something that Jack's been preaching at me for the past like 2 weeks, to put in my diary to actually have to spend time for myself. But if you don't do it, you just burn out. And I think all three of us can admit at some point we burnt out, and it is not a fun feeling.
No, but it's not. It's not, and it's an absolute non-negotiable in my eyes. And it's like I said, it's selfish, but in actual fact, it's pretty selfless because, like I said, you're putting yourself in a position where you're able to be a better coach, be a better person. Your job is very caring, and we give out what we crave sometimes the most. And when we care about so much about other people, how they're doing, as soon as we wake up, are they looking better? Have they got a new low? What's happened? Are they doing this? Like, we're instantly putting care onto other people, which is our job. But sometimes we don't care for ourselves. So what I'm trying to say to everyone when they start their day, just make sure that first half an hour and that first hour is focused on you and your goals, whether that be making your meals, going for a walk, hydrating. It might even be a 15-minute window if someone's got to travel and commute. Just make sure it's towards your goal and make sure that you're caring about yourself rather than first thing looking at your phone and looking at clients and getting back to clients and doing form feedback. And like, it's just one of those things where it's like I actively make sure that I'm not on my phone for the first half an hour. I go downstairs, go for a walk. And before, when I started coaching, if I heard that, I'd be like, what is this guy on about?
Yeah.
This dude? He wakes up and go on his phone. Like, but now I completely get it because it allows me to be a better coach. And then I'm ready and I can come back. But again, I work that around knowing that my first check-in is probably going to be around 6:15, 6:30. So I make sure that's all done prior to that. So it's being selfish in a way where it's like I'm getting my stuff done, but actually selfless because I can come back and be a better coach knowing that I've done what I need to do.
Yeah, first thing in the morning, advice that you're going to give is just not going to be that valuable. You know, when you Just wake up. Especially if you read a negative message. Like there've been times like a couple of years ago where I get into that habit of wake up, check my phone, and then just immediately like my brain is frazzled. So I'm like, there's so much to take in first thing. And I'm like, there's no good response that I can give to this now. I need to wake up, I need to acclimate, and then I can like actually think through my answer and how we're going to play this. And it's like, you get to a point where like, why am I even checking it? Because there's like, I'm not going to be valuable straight out of bed. You know, if you give yourself time to get into it, like you said, you're going to be far better.
I'll be honest, mate. The reason why I had to get back to them was I didn't want to come across as like, Tom, I know Tom gets up at this time. Why is he getting back to me at 45 minutes when I know he's up?
Yeah.
It's like, why is he putting me? So it's like more of like a vulnerability of knowing that I'm not providing the service that I know I can. When in actual fact, if I give myself half an hour, I can give a more detailed explanation, better response, giving them all of me rather than being half asleep, waking up, giving them a little message, and they have a reply of nothingness and nothing to go on. I'd much rather them wait 25 minutes, me give them a detailed voice note, write everything down, and go, okay, that's perfect. And if you ask anyone, they'd much rather have that than a little 2-lined message back straight away. And that's what I come to the conclusion of with coaching service. A good coaching service doesn't mean a quick response. It means if someone messages you with a question or with anything that's gone wrong, if you can give them a detailed response in terms of what's happened, how it's happened, and what they're going to do to get over it, and what we can do moving forwards in a detailed manner, half an hour, an hour later, that's going to be much better than just going, okay, bro, let's. So,
Yeah.
Thumbs up emoji.
Yeah. Just that nature. Yeah.
Drop a GIF, leave it there.
So if you ask anyone, I feel as though they'd much prefer that. And that's where I probably went wrong previously, was like I had to get back to certain people, when in actual fact that's not providing a good service. So my idea of a good service is completely different now.
I think there's so much pressure on coaches. Sorry, Camille. I'm yapping away.
No, you go.
I feel like there's so much pressure on coaches to be like omnipresent. And it's like you don't need to be omnipresent. You need to be on your phone more than like an hour a day, yes. But with that time that you spend on your phone, it needs to be valuable. So you don't need to be on it 24 hours a day, but you do need to be valuable when you are on it. And I think there's just so much rhetoric around like, oh yeah, instant, immediate, quick replies. And it's like, I'd rather, like you said, a 10 or 20 minute reply that's more detailed than a 10 or 20 second reply that is just a GIF.
It's true. Like if you, like I always think as the client's perspective, I'd much rather my client go, I know Tom will get back to me as soon as possible, and I know it's going to be a detailed response, rather than being like, I know he's going to get back as soon as possible, he might just put like a GIF. It's completely different. So
yeah, what's the point of even messaging at that point, And realistic, it's like you said as well there, it's like you're going to reply as soon as possible. So driving yourself crazy about like, oh my God, I need to reply. It's like, well, if you can't reply, then you can't reply. I remember when I used to I used to do one day in the week where I put all my calls, and on that day I would just sit there anxiously on every call, and I do it on podcasts as well. I don't do it anymore, but I'd be like waiting, like, oh my God, I'm missing so many messages. And I kind of had to sit myself down and be like, look, you can't reply, and that's fine. Your value is not like sitting in a room of WhatsApp, staring at the screen, being ready to rapid fire responses. The value is I will get to it as soon as I physically can, and it will be the best response I can physically give. And that's the deal. The deal is not 5 minutes. The deal is as quick as I can, as detailed as I can do.
I agree.
100%. All right, my question, Tom, how did you actually get into coaching? Because ever since I've known you, you're already pretty well established coach, but I think I'm the youngest one out of the three.
Oh my God, he doesn't know the Whamcast.
Oh no, the Wham, mate.
You're so young.
The Whamcast. So, goodness me, I actually got sent that the other day. It came up on Spotify, and they sent it to me. I was like, wow, the Whamcast. So, I actually got into coaching after COVID, when my rugby team were within that period where it was like pre-season. They all put in a little bit of weight over COVID, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to ask them whether any of them want free coaching. and I believe 10 of them came on board. And by the end of it, I had like five decent transformations. And from there, mate, it just sort of skyrocketed, really. I got into bodybuilding by watching AJ Morris and Kubo when they trained together in AJ's prep, I believe, when they were shouting each other on the hack squat. And like, that's what got me into it. And I was thinking, yeah, this is cool. And then I was literally offered, free coaching for 10 individuals. And since then, mate, it's just been all guns blazing. That's how I sort of got into it. And then I met into seeing the WAM cast of Perrin, Luke, Pete, and then made a podcast. That was pretty good because Perrin had a little bit of traction. Luke had all of us had a little bit behind us, but Perrin mainly in terms of where he was at, and he was doing prep, and then he ended up not doing prep and whatever. But that's years ago now. It feels like an eternity ago, but it's like 3 years ago.
That's where I first heard Tom, was that his podcast. And I think Luke Schultz, Lactic Addict Luke, put me onto it. And then Luke went on the pod. And I've sent like quite a fangirly message to a few of the members of Webcast. And then a few of them. I mean, are you aware of Luke Harper, Brightman's ex-coach, Camille? He was a host on it. No. You've got Pete Royal, who co-owns Conti. Jack Conti is mates with you, so he was.
What?
Yeah, yeah. That's like how I know these people.
Oh shit.
Perrin is kind of not really that active on social media anymore.
No, mate, he's very much into the realm of biking and doing. He's an optometrist, so he's doing that sort of stuff. Okay, so his prep definitely put him off bodybuilding. And he would happily admit that in terms of the process, and he felt as though it took away. But he was going through a lot with uni and stuff, and now he's doing what he needs to do, and he's doing well. So,
you know what? Respect though, because like I feel like a lot of people would go for a bodybuilding prep, and they'd acknowledge that bodybuilding isn't for them, but they'd conform into social standards of being like, oh, if I give up bodybuilding now, I'm a pussy. So they continue doing it and continue doing it. The fact that he was able to say, do you know what, bodybuilding is not for me, and step away from it and just accept that that's what it is. Like, props to him, man. Fair play.
What was harder for him though was that he had so much traction being like the next big thing in natural bodybuilding. So it weren't just like this guy's meant to be the best of the best.
He looked fantastic. Like, he had really good potential.
It was. And he was like, you know what, I don't enjoy it as much. It's not like he didn't enjoy it. It wasn't the fact he was able to sit back and go, this doesn't fulfill me as much as what other things do. And he was very easily sort of gone, you know what, I'm happy just to keep my friends in that circle, and then I can go and do this and this and this, and that's what he's done.
Did you coach him for a bit? I remember you. Oh God, this is weird that I remember this, but it sticks in my head. You went to Wales, or the both of you went to Wales. You did a trip. It was like when I was coached by you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So he was like, oh, I want to sort myself out a little bit, and then, mate, I think within like 4 weeks, he got like 6 weeks out condition, and I was there like, yeah, this is. I think if it went any more, and that's where me as a friend, I was like, this could either go one way or another. Where it's like, he's back into bodybuilding, and he was like, and I'm there like, I remember him not enjoying that. So I said, you're exactly where you need to be right now, mate. If you went any more, I think he'd get back into it and obsess over everything again. And I was like, everything's working well now, mate. And then since then, like, he's one of my best pals. So
that's good.
Still coaching Jack Buff at the minute.
Yeah, so me and Buff are still he's still like, it's a weird relationship that I have with Buff. In terms of not weird, he's again one of my good friends, but like, he is very such in tune with his body that still checks in, still does what he needs to do. But he'll say to me, I've tried this week, and I'm there like, yeah, that's fine. And that's something that I've come with coaching as well, with coaching more experienced athletes, such as Ryan, Jack Buff, Renat, like these people who have been bodybuilding for years and years and years. When you look at Jack Buff's quads, he's going to me, I enjoy this for my quads. I am not going to turn around and say to him, don't do that, mate. Like, I'm still coaching Buff for sure, and we've got some good plans for this year, to say the least. So, yeah.
Do you think that? This is a good question. I've stolen it from another podcast. do you prefer coaching someone who's more advanced and more in tune with their body, but potentially more opinionated and more narrow? Or do you prefer more of a kind of clean slate?
Personally, I would like to say someone that's more advanced.
Okay.
Because the reason why I say that is if you've got someone with a clean slate, don't get me wrong, what I think is great. It can be great and it can work for anyone. But I feel as though if someone's had some skin in the game, some experience,
Yeah.
you know how valuable it is, mate. For example, you and Camille might do a dieting phase, and if Camille was with a previous coach, with another coach, and he said, "This is what happened to me in my last diet phase,"
yeah,
they know how fatigue feels, diet fatigue, whatever. If you have someone who's a clean slate, even though we can usually see that off the data we get, if someone with a clean slate, it's nice to go, you know what, I've done this before, I've tried this before. But the only issue with having someone that's a little bit more opinionated is that, especially with having more experienced guys who may be using androgens, they associate a certain look with certain compounds and the amount. So they'll go, I was on prep, I want to show I looked incredible here, and I was taking this, and this. And I'm there saying, you don't need to take that. And they'll go, no, I do. And I'm saying to them, no, you don't. It's fine. And that's the only issue I have sometimes when I'm saying to people, you don't need to use as much as that, because they'll associate a certain look and a certain feeling with a certain compound. And I'm thinking, what's the actual point of having this in? So I'll say a bit of both. Great. If someone's clean slate and I'm there like, fantastic, put what I believe is great on somebody. But sometimes I feel as though it's good to go through that phase of lifting really heavily and going through your 3-4 reps and just flinging some weight around. And then so I think it's really important to go through that.
Yeah.
And I think when you can not butt heads, but have a nice intellectual conversation with a client and go, okay, let's try it out. If it doesn't work, we can try this, or we can meet in the middle and go, okay, we can do that moving forwards. So
Jack is forcing me to take 3 rappers on the hat.
That's a lie. I think, like you said there, with like, so someone who's it usually is like people who have already run androgens for a while, have a certain opinion of like, no, I have to use this, or no, I can never use this. And I think you kind of, as a coach, it's easy to be like, well, yeah, you look good this last time on this, so let's just do that again. And then that builds into their psyche of like, oh, well, we put X oral in X weeks out and I looked really dry. It's like, well, do you just look that dry anyway? Like, or is it because every single time you get that lean, you're always running that oral, and therefore you go, that's the only way I get dry?
Mm-hmm. You know, it's bang on, completely bang on. So I would say I'd like a bit of both, to be fair. You do get some opinionated people, but experienced people who have an open mind and thinking, this coach is going to come with a new method, new ideology, a new way of doing things. That's probably the best ideal scenario. So if I was to take one, it'd probably be that one. But then again, getting someone from the ground up, that's the best fear never. Like, they're taking them through that process.
Yeah.
Then I'd like I'd like them to go through that phase of going, you know what, mate, just enjoy yourself a little bit rather than, so it's hard.
That's kind of how like me and Jack met, because I think I came to Jack when I was training for 2 years and I was basically a baby at that point. He had one of the first things Jack taught me, and he brought me on, he was like, Camille, he programmed 3 sets on a lateral raise. I was like, what is this blasphemy? We're not doing top set back off. He was like, no, Camille, you can do 3 sets. And like, from then I remember messaging all my mates like, oh my god, guys, this guy knows his shit. Like, he told me to do 3 sets. Like,
that was the easiest mystery I've ever sold. I remember sitting on the consultation call, being in my uni house, and Camille was like, yeah, my delts just don't grow. I just gave him more sets and they just fucking doubled in like 8 weeks. Sorted. Easy peasy, mate. Easiest problem I ever solved.
That's an ideal someone that's been there, trained, made the mistake, and then you go to a coach and then you go, I've tried this hasn't worked. Okay, let's put a little spin on it. And then that's probably the ideal set point.
Yeah. And to be fair, I mean, since I've had you, Camille, we've pretty much just like pulled quad volume down and down and down and down. Like, it's,
I do 5 sets of quads a week. It's my best body.
That's what you need. That's literally all you need. But there's the thing. Then there's other areas that need a bit more, and Like that is the essence of coaching. It's everything is like, why am I doing more
Tailored.
sides than quads? Because you need it. That's what your body has
Yeah.
requested of us, and we're meeting that demand.
But also, like, because I've been with you for a considerable amount of time, you've developed the data and you understand my body arguably better than I do myself. So like when it comes to making these decisions, you don't even second guess them, you know what to already do.
Yeah.
So I feel like I always say to my clients, like, the first plan that I make for you is the worst plan.
Yeah.
Like with every single program, with every single meal plan, with every single decision that we make, the longer you're with them, the better the decisions get. And because I've been with Jack for like, I want to say like 2.5 years now, like it's just like Jack says something was so insane. Like he'll say something, it's just immediately done. Or like, I don't know, like he'll already know how to react to a bit of feedback that he'll say. So like he might if I'm in a certain psychological state, he might phrase things differently just to make sure that I actually get things done. For
Yeah, call you small. Safe.
yeah, exactly.
It's so true though. That's what
It's
I
true.
like, you post on Instagram. Like you'll find coaches, the way you articulate it, the way you say things, the way you map things out, the way someone's sheets will look, like the way you have their training set up. Like I have Laroni push downs for Ryan on his push day, like because he makes him think that he's Kevin Laroni. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna do that for anyone else. I'm not gonna do that for anyone else. But like you, like yourself as coaches, you learn how to speak to certain people and get the most out of them. But that's what makes a good coach from a great coach, in my opinion. How you can psychologically get the best out of someone, just how you can articulate and break things down. Some person or some people might need a little bit more. They might need to say like sort it out, like get it done. But some people might need a little bit more time and care, and they might need that phone call here and there. That's fine.
That's why I hate when coaches have an approach or like a clear, like a direction that they take with people, and like a wording or a phrasing or a, you know what I mean? Like when a coach is just very, when you're coaching consistently the same way, and it's like you just can't guarantee success for the vast majority of the clients. Like if you look at a coach's roster and say they've got like a 90% success rate of like creating amazing transformations or giving people what they want, those plans are going to differ massively. But if their plans have really clear through lines, their success rate is just going to be lower because you can't apply similar things. Like, you know, Tom, you'll have the same thing where like sometimes you go from one check-in and a person's got an issue and you're talking a certain way, and then you go to the next check-in, someone's got the same issue and you're talking entirely differently. And it's still the same issue, it's just being solved in different ways. And you know, how you approach that comes down to the client and what they respond to, and that is the essence of coaching.
That is literally it. Bang on.
Yeah, no, we were talking about on the pod earlier today. It's like that with injuries, but also I think with coaching and just dealing with people in general, like there is never like a black or white or like a correct or incorrect approach. Like it's so contextual to the individual, and like you, at least I see like all these like seasoned coaches being like, oh, you know, my client, it doesn't do X, or like, you know, blah, 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 whatever. But like my counter argument would be to that would be like, have you ever stopped to think like why your client like isn't checking in on time, or why your client doesn't really want to open up to you, etc.? Is it like the barrier between you guys? Like, is a relationship, you know, is it a boss client or is it actually coach client? Like, what is the issue there? But ultimately, like, I do strongly believe everyone is coachable. I just think you need to be the right person to actually understand what ticks them. Like, I went through phases where Jack would like quite literally bully me into doing things like especially in my last dieting phase, I'd send like checking shots to all my mates. They'd be like, "Oh, you look sick, mate." All of this just gassing me up, and I'd say to Jack and be like, "You look flat. Take a refeed." And it's like, but that was the best thing that could have happened to me, because Jack knew all of my mates were gassing me up, but he would give me the like non-bullshit, like, this is what you need to know, what you want to know. In a sense. And it's like, it's that same approach, because not everyone would respond well to that. Some people, if you send them checking shots and then you go, "Oh yeah, you're flat," or like, "You look shit," they'd be like, "Oh no, what? My coach is telling me that." But it's contextual to what the person actually needs, and you need to understand what ticks them. And ultimately, it just comes down to that why. Like, me and Jack bang on about this pretty much every single pod, but like understanding why they are in physique development, understanding why they want to get in shape or why they want to build muscle. And it's not as simple as like, "Oh yeah, no, I want to step on stage." Okay, but why do you want to step on stage? "Oh, because I want to win." Yeah, but why do you want to win? What is it about winning a plastic trophy that gives you so much fulfillment, as you said, Tom.
Validation, mate. That's what bodybuilding is.
Yep.
Full of people who are really insecure and they need validation for a plastic trophy. That is what bodybuilding is. I fell into the trap when I first came into bodybuilding. And I always say to everyone, the success of your prep or the success of what you do isn't dictated by how many likes you get on an Instagram post or what trophy you get. If you can look back at that given phase and say, I gave my everything and I conducted myself in the manner that I told myself to, I signed the contract and I stuck to it, fantastic. But when someone comes to you, they come to you because they're stuck. It's a coach's job to understand what barrier they have met and how they're going to get around it. For some people, you have to break things down very methodically and go, okay, you're looking flat. Why are we looking flat? Let's look at the last 2 weeks. We've dropped X amount, right? If we carried on doing this, you'd look horrendous. So we're going to have to feed you up now. What is the process of that? For example, Jack can say to you, we're just going to feed you up today, bro. That's all good. But that comes from a level of experience with working together, but some people might need that level of detail. Like if I'm taking a first timer through their first refeed, I'm not going to go, yeah, bro, here's 600 carb. Like, yeah. For example, I had Harley do her first refeed, gained 3 kilos, right, as a female, right?
Yeah.
But then she's thinking, oh my God, Tom, prep's ruined. 2 days later, she's straight back down again. I've gathered the feedback that I need. She probably doesn't need as much food, right? Even though it was like 2,300 calories, whatever. But then I then realized stress, all these different things. I now know that's a barrier. Am I going to give her a refeed when she's working nights? No, I'm not. Sound. Perfect. Now I can sort of go around things, get her to map out when she's got nights on her sheet. So I now know when I can probably feed her up or when I can't. Perfect. That is a barrier that has gone round what we've gone through. So we've now addressed stress. She needs to bring food. She can't do it. So I do that. And that's what coaches do. Barriers come across. Someone comes to you with an issue. That's why. But you're bang on.
Solving.
Why do you want to win? Why do you want to win? What are you going to get from winning? Right? Like, what are you going to actually get?
Yeah. It's just validation, like you said, that they've done well. The prep's gone well. That's what they want. But prep going well is just, did you do everything?
That's it. Did you do everything, right? Like I've got a 2 rows first place medal hung up right there. I know I won't even ever achieve that. I've got my 2nd place granite trophy there, which means way more than me. But it's nothing to do with that. I look at my 2023 prep, 2025 prep, and I'm thinking, that's what it's all about.
Yes,
that's what it's all about. Yeah. But a lot of people, they feel the need to get the first place. But don't get me wrong, we all compete to win, right? When people say, oh yeah, we don't compete to win. You do.
Yeah.
It's competitive sport. You don't play football. Well, oh yeah, we drew today, boys. Fantastic. It's understanding that the level and what is the dictation of your success is how you conduct the plan. That is it. So if you've done everything you can do, that's absolutely fine. But also as well, you can relate that to a coach. And when someone maybe leaves and go, if I've done everything for them, that's absolutely fine. They might want to try something else. Again, that's absolutely fine as well. They're completely obliged to go and do that. But as long as they've come to you with an issue and you've tried to solve that barrier, I might not be the person to do that. I've tried. That's absolutely fine. But know that I'm going to try goddamn hard to try and get them over that barrier. So that's what I would say to that in terms of why people want to win.
Yeah, exactly. I think knowing why people hold themselves back as well. So like in the example of Camille there, just to kind of justify for anyone listening who thinks I'm just being shit to Camille, with people who are very talented in bodybuilding, often the difficulty isn't that they're doing well, the difficulty is expectation. And it's that if everyone constantly all the time is telling you that you look great, me telling you you look great just adds more pressure for some people. For other people, there's a kind of lack of security there, and they want to feel like, you know, they might be like, oh, I'm 10 weeks out and I'm not in shape. And you might be like, you look so much leaner this week. And that's what you want to hear. You're so on target. I'm so happy. No changes. We're doing great. For other people, it's not gassing up their physique anymore. It's just kind of giving them a nice, sensible, level-headed, and not being like, yeah, man, you're going to win, you're going to win, you're going to win, you're going to win. Some people feed off that. Other people just places pressure on them. And so for the headspace you were in, just being like, yeah, man, you're flat. eat food. Being straight to the point of being like, here's what's going on, here's what we're going to do, is more helpful than me just adding fuel to the fire of like more and more expectation. Especially if you're flat and you get flatter, you're going to see your physique get worse, but everyone's telling you look great. And then you might start looking at other people and cross comparing and be like, hang on, I'm smaller, like I look worse than them. What's going on? Where's this coming from? What? And it's like, that just adds unnecessary pressure, and just saying, here's what we're going to do is often more helpful. Not for everyone, though.
Yeah. It's unrealistic expectations that you're setting for them as well. If you're saying to Camille, mate, you're going to do really well when you're going to compete, you're going to do really, really well. I think you want to come this place. And then next, you know, how do you think they're going to feel if they don't get that placing?
Yeah, you can't say a placing. That's
I mean, you can't say that, because all you're doing is putting unrealistic expectations on them. As long as you know how someone is going to be operating, whether they're more process-driven or outcome-driven, is the way you're going to go around things and how you're going to articulate ways of getting to the point to them. With Camille, he might be in a position where it's like, yeah, eat, all good, sound, see tomorrow, checking at this time, all good. Yeah, but a lot of people, they'd have a little more of a process and then, okay, what is the outcome of this? What do we want? Then breaking it down. But you bang on, mate. It's just giving people a realistic understanding of what they, where they want to be, what needs to do in that period of time, and making sure you're not gassing them up, but also as well, what I found works is like praising their mindset rather than, yeah, mate, you look great. I also break down, okay, where are you now, but also what you've had to go through the past 5 days. A lot of coaches, they always think ahead. Okay, what we're going to do tomorrow, what we're going to do tomorrow. When in actual fact, that client's given you so much for the past 7 days. They may have worked their ass off in terms of diet, and we're behind. We need to make these changes. They come back to you in 5 days' time. They've dropped that weight that you wanted to. Some people are like, what are we going to do next? Understanding that what they've been through from a mindset perspective, sometimes praising that might actually make them move forward in the right direction rather than being like, yeah, bro, you look great. Well done, actually. You would have had hard days there where you could have gone off plan. You would have doubted yourself, and you probably may have looked a little bit worse through looking a little bit flatter. But look where we are now, a great spot. And that's all down to how you conduct yourself and going through those tough conversations with yourself when it was hard. But next thing you know, they're like, yeah, well done to me. And they start themselves a little bit, and that's where the arrogance and between confidence and arrogance is different. If they're confident in their own ability, that's fine. If they're arrogant thinking they're the best, that's different. So if you give someone confidence while understanding, okay, look what you've been through the past week, mate, look where we are now, and look where we're going to be in the next 7 days, rather than just constantly thinking ahead. It's thinking like, oh, now we're going to go through this. Sometimes, like we say, some people give out what they want the most. All they want is a little arm around them and going, you know what, you've absolutely smashed that. And now they're ready to go again.
Yeah, it's the same as like for the hard days. For some people, it's good to tee them up and be like, this next week is going to suck.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's going to be, just take it day by day. And if you're struggling, let me know, and not trying to kind of get in their head too much. For other people, it's going to be a case of trying to remind them, you know, the point of the process and the point of those hard days. And for other people, it's going to be reminding them the outcome of those hard days. But yeah, exactly. It just comes down to knowing how to talk to people.
If I told my partner, Cheryl, these next 7 days are going to be hard, she'd be like, mate, she'd be like, shut up, I'll just talk to you in 7 days. Like, she just gets it.
Yeah.
But some people, I'm like, check in with me daily, because I want to make sure they're all good at that point. Sure, I'll take that as an offense if I told her to check in daily, genuinely. Understanding what it is. So, good.
I've got a question. So, I'm going into prep in about 3 weeks' time. What would your main bits of advice be to someone who's going into their first proper prep and competing for the first time? So, like a first-time competitor.
I'm not going to go through the usual.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Be present. Be present, okay? Because trust me, mate, there'll be times where you're not present, right? Lean into the challenge, but I would say ultimately make it your Olympia. Even though you'll be looking at whatever, so many people that are pro bodybuilders, make this your Olympia. Set the standard. Don't be a person that looks back at their first prep and goes, I didn't give it my all. And now I'm doing a second prep where I was 6 weeks out and I was doing this, and now well done for doing it. Be the person that sets a standard from the get-go in terms of their first prep. Make it your Olympia. Do everything Jack tells you and more. Don't deviate. Trust him, and just make sure ultimately you trust yourself. Because a lot of people, they go, I'm not going to be lean enough. Am I going to be ready? You're the only person that is doing the actions to get you in stage condition. So trust yourself, be confident in your own ability, and don't doubt yourself. That's the most important thing. Because if you think about how people come across, they go, am I going to be lean enough? What am I doing wrong? Am I doing enough? It all comes from a place of doubt. And also as well, it comes from a place of validation. No, you're doing enough, Camille. No, you're doing enough, Camille. Seek validation and fulfillment through your own actions, not anyone else. That's why I didn't tell anyone else last time. Because in my first prep, I would happily admit I was seeking validation of other people. Look at me. Oh, I'm prepping. Oh, tell me I look good, please. I'm struggling. I'm eating no carbs. Oh, no, mate. It made me worse. Find fulfillment through your own action and say, you know what? I've signed the contract with myself. Like I said previously, I've signed this contract. If I break it, I'm breaking it with Jack and I'm breaking it with me, not anyone else. And do you respect yourself enough to hold yourself to that standard? Make it your Olympia.
I don't know if it was you, Tom, that said this, or maybe Ryan, but either way, I heard it through Jack and it finally came back to me. But someone said that being in prep or cutting is just bodybuilding. It's the same thing whether you're cutting or bulking.
The Ryan
Turner
phase. The Ryan Turner phase. It's just bodybuilding, bro.
Yeah. Pass through the grapevines.
And that's what we got from JP. It's just bodybuilding.
Yeah, that I do resonate with that. It makes so much sense when you put it like that. It's just you're just I'm a bodybuilder. I'm meant to prep and like it's just a natural progression of where I'm going.
Up to be someone that it really isn't, right? Don't get me wrong, make it that big skeptical, right? But the reason why I want to see it as that skeptical, because I want to hold myself to a position where I can look back at my first prep and be really proud. But it doesn't have to take over your life. It doesn't have to be your identity. It doesn't have to be your personality. Okay, if someone asks you how prep's going, don't go, oh, don't. I'm getting annoyed at people for asking me if I'm in prep. You're in prep, mate. It's something to do with your life. If someone's writing a book, you're going to ask them how the book's going. It's just, but don't make it consume you. Have that period of time, understanding that, yes, this is where I want to be, but don't let it be your personality, mate, and be everything about you. And like Jack said at the start of the podcast, where it's like, I have to eat things at 2 p.m. Otherwise I'm going to gain half a pound. Okay, you're getting your meals in. Everything's all good. Make the routine and structure as organized as possible around you, your needs, and your life. Stick to it. You're going to lose weight and you're going to get in a condition because Jack's going to give you enough time. That's to anyone prepping in their first prep. Enjoy it, yes, even though that is what usually people say, but enjoy it with the fact of taking you through, like, not a lot of people can prep. Feed into the fact that you are like within the 0.1% of people that can do something, and looking back on it and go, you know what, I'm pretty proud of myself. That's the best feeling. That is the best feeling. So that's what I would say there.
I feel like not making it your life is so important, and it's something that I definitely struggled with quite a lot. And it's like, once you've ticked all the boxes, you've done your steps, your cardio, your training, and then let's say, you know, you're a coach and you've ticked all your coaching boxes. It's like, you can do what you want. Like, you can literally do whatever you want, as long as it doesn't like involve shit tons of food. That's realistically all there is that you can't do. But you can do literally anything else in the world. In that moment, you're still a bodybuilder, but you're also just a normal person. And you can do whatever you want. And having that time to, like, you know, I know too many people who everything in their spare time is like, they'll sit there in their bodybuilding merch, watching bodybuilding on YouTube, thinking about bodybuilding tomorrow. And it's like, you're going to drive yourself nuts if that's your, like, I play Pokemon. I look at videos about computers because I have an interest in computers. Like, or look at cars. I mean, look at like AJ Morris. Two biggest things about him: bodybuilding and F1. It's like he immediately has a superb interest in something else. Too many people are too narrow, and then they make it their entire life. And then when bodybuilding's going hard because you're in prep, suddenly everything is hard and you're miserable because there's no breaks, there's no nothing, there's nothing on the other side of the tunnel. It's just bodybuilding forever and ever and ever, and that's when people burn out.
Mate, bang on. It can take away from your life. And this is me just saying how bodybuilding is, right? Bodybuilding gives us nothing externally other than a trophy. It's all internally. But people think if I do this, it's going to ruin my prep, my placing, my like. At the end of the day, it's just to give you a process and give you a goal. Make sure that you're not blocking everything out. I say this to everyone: the harder you can switch it off, the more you can switch on again. So if you're at nighttime and you completely switch off, I'm telling you right now, your ability to switch on in the morning and go and do fasted cardio, faster steps, posing rounds is going to be much better rather than finishing your day off watching a full day of eating of a professional bodybuilder. It might be that you feed into that quite literally, pardon the pun, watching a full day of eating. But what I say, look at James Holden's head, plays Xbox, plays PC. Look at Martin Fitzwater, literally plays Lego while doing cardio, right? More personal, Reese Fit plays FIFA while doing cardio, right? These people, they separate themselves from bodybuilding because they understand that there's a job to do, and my job isn't to obsess over things that are going to get done anyway. Like, if something goes wrong, I'm going to get my cardio done. It might not be fast or whatever, but it's going to get done anyway. You're worrying about things that you're going to get done. So don't make it your life. Just understand that as long as you do everything, all good, but don't push everyone away.
Sometimes the off switch is kind of what you need. Like when a session is horrible and the cardio is not fun and you got steps and you're kind of doing it out of like the kind of routine and wanting to getting it done, and you know that you'll feel accomplished, but in that moment you need something to pull through. And sometimes it's just like, I'm going to watch a movie later. I'm going to like go and have a phone call with my mates, or I'm going to see my mates at the pub and bring my meal prep. That's what I used to do a lot. Or it's like, I'm going to play that new game that's released. Something just to get you through. So it's not just, man, this is hard. God, there's only more of this. Like, you do need that off switch. It can be what gets you through stuff. I know that I've certainly like had cardio sessions where I'm watching Dorian Yates train, cardio sessions where I'm listening to like heavy music, and other cardio sessions where I'm like, man, let me like put on some fucking videos about Pokemon because I just need to get through this, keep my heart rate up, and just think about something else while I'm trying to do this, you know.
But the key part there, you're still getting it done.
Of course, yeah.
You're still getting it done. And that's what I would give advice to their first timers on the prep. Hold yourself to a standard that you can look back at knowing that you're going to be proud of yourself, but ultimately knowing that it might not give you what you think it's going to give you. You're not going to be any different at the end of prep than when you were at the start. All you are going to be is in a position where you're fulfilled with the person that you want to become. And if you can look back knowing that you've not pushed people away, you've enjoyed the process, and you've fulfilled what you need to do as an athlete, all good and well.
Exactly.
Write that down.
Write that down.
Write that down. Write that down.
Fucking bars. Jack, what's your favorite Pokemon?
You look like a Charizard.
Charizard. You think I'm a Charizard?
No, Greninja. Greninja's sick.
Yeah, okay, he's sick, but he's not my favorite. My favorite is probably can I say shiny? Is that allowed?
You can say shiny. Well,
Shiny Rayquaza. He's blacked out.
I'm not gonna say it.
Giant space lizard. Space lizard guy. Awesome.
Fair enough, man. Space lizards. Yeah. I'm all over that.
All right.
What shows are you doing, Camille?
What show am I doing? Yeah, so we've not FaceTime is 5.
Yeah, mate. Love that.
We've just got the first show booked. I would obviously like to do some more shows. We're not jumping into anything just yet, but obviously it is the competitive season, so realistically I could just jump in and out of a show if needs be. But I would like to obviously compete more than once.
Is it September 27th?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, nice, man. Nice. You've got PCA Central. I don't know where you're based. Are you based up north?
Yeah, but I might be moving down to Manchester where Jack is. So,
then at the weekend afterwards, you've got PCA, or not your weekend afterwards, I think 2 weeks after, you've got PCA Yorkshire, which is near Manchester, about an hour and a half. You've got PCA Stafford, which is about an hour away.
Yeah.
Show, and then you've got PCA.
Stafford's a show, so.
Yeah, man. Honestly, it's a great show. It's the week before finals. You haven't really got to peak for it, but it's a good show if you want to be.
I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Went for first time as 5 because it's not too far from some of the more exciting shows. There's other shows around there that we can do. But yeah, I think, I mean, as you get deeper and deeper into prep, it will be a conversation for us to have. But I think I don't really want you to just do the one show, especially for a first prep. You got
absolutely not.
dip in. To be fair, you and Neo are both in the same boat of we've just got the one booked. I imagine you're probably gonna have fairly similar seasons, whereas Aaron, we've already mapped.
It's actually quite nice.
Yeah. Well, you'll be different categories as well. So Camille and
I
Neo,
think that's, to be honest, I think that's for the best because Tom, if you don't know, me and Neil are like good mates again from where Jack lives, and we're literally doing the same shows but different categories. So it would be nice to have like someone who's literally in the academy as well at the same show, also cutting.
yeah. And then we've got for
Jack's
Aaron,
army.
we've got UK DFBA, Naturals 5, and then MW, and then I think we were talking about Supernaturals potentially. So Aaron's very keen, but we'll see. I kind of said the inverse to him. I said, let's get you there and then see how you feel with the shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Neo and Camille, it'll be a case of, okay, what else do we want to do when we get there?
Yeah, that's a bit of advice as well, like not booking shows. Like that's one mistake that I made on my first compete. I was like, I'm going to do this show and this show. And then the first and second show were 4 weeks apart, mate. And I was thinking, oh, how am I going to go through this? And it made my prep 28 weeks long. And I finished the last show at Stafford. And I was like, just get me out of it. If I didn't have it booked, I wouldn't have done it. But my family were all coming. I made a big, I told them 30 weeks prior, get your tickets. And I was like, I just don't really want to do it. So I would have that first timer show, you're only going to go to that one, see how you feel afterwards. I would say to you, do more than one. So you can go do for different federations, different classes. If you're still a junior, you might do classic, you might do junior, but your bodybuilder, whatever. But get a feel of different federations. But I wouldn't sort of book one in because you might not be ready for the one afterwards. You might want to have some downtime. You might want to feel as though you have like 2 weeks in between, or you might want to do back-to-back peaks, whatever.
Yeah, exactly that. Right, I think we will wrap up there. I don't want to take up too much of Mr. Tommy T's time. But Tom, as much as this podcast is on is a smaller platform than your own coaching platform, go ahead, promote yourself.
So my Instagram is Tom Taylor _TBT. And that's it. Genuinely, if you want to follow me, fantastic. But if you're following these two, you're in the right place. So I appreciate you listening.
High praise, man. High praise. Tom's links will be down below, as well as all the links for the usual stuff. Tom's link for his Instagram will be the top link below. So everyone who's interested, go give that a drop a little follow. But yeah, Tom, thank you so much for coming on. And
appreciate it a lot.
Thank you for inviting me on, boys. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And until the next one, we will catch you next week. We will not have a guest next week. The aim is to do, I think, every other episode, just so you guys get a little bit of quality time with me, Camille, and Matt. But anyway, thank you all for listening. Goodbye.